In Kopi Kenangan, as stated in the logo, we believe the core value is serving with heart and also go beyond in everything that we do every day. Dan yang pastinya, yang sangat-sangat non-negotiable adalah we always serve high quality coffee in affordable price. In general, kita punya multiple options untuk multiple type of customer, baik itu di sisi brand kita yang sekarang di lower segment, Satu Kenangan, di core brand kita Kopi Kenangan, dan di upper segment kita, Kenangan Signature dan Heritage. Kita sediakan opsi minuman, opsi makanan, dan juga ada bundles dan premiumization yang bisa dipilih berdasarkan affordability masing-masing segment. I believe the curve will be like this. Jadi pertama kita mungkin bisa acquire lots of user and then we optimize dulu and then we see whether we can have the better transacting user and then after that we go up again in acquisition and then we optimize again. Jadi it will always be like that, like not always exponential but might be like that. Jadi yang kita lihat sekarang juga kita implement seperti itu. Kenapa kita bisa decreasing the percentage of the spending, tapi kita bisa dapat double the user because we now can identify like what is the best channel to acquire user and what is the best channel to reactivate user. Jadi kita lakuin semua itu in parallel. So as a user itself, they can actually feel the whole journey from joining as a membership in app or maybe they're going to the offline store. It will become like one whole experience yang itu omni-channel experience. We're trying our best to give a better customer experience, especially for in-store experience. As you know, Kopi Kenangan is now trying to give you a bigger and then better place and more comfortable for you to hang out. Jadi kalau lihat Kopi Kenangan sekarang store-nya selain banyak, juga lebih nyaman dan pastinya kita juga enable digital order supaya in-store experience-nya juga lebih baik. So you're not going to come to the store and then harus antri panjang. You can also order from app beforehand and then you can set the pickup time, so when you come your drinks already there. Jadi bisa ada app order, bisa dine in, bisa take out, and then you can also do the table scan QR, bisa scan QR di table. And for some stores yang sangat-sangat ramai, kita juga ada self kiosk, so you can actually order through our kiosk, doesn't have to be queuing also. And we are now on progress on having more and more Kopi Kenangan drive-thru, so you can also get your drinks through drive-thru. I usually get these AI questions a lot, and the answer will always be ambiguous because the category itself is the F&B retail. For sure, to try the new drinks, people have to come to the store or order to try the drinks, right? So not much AI can do on that, but for sure we're embracing AI with hands open. Dari sisi personalization, ads udah pasti, itu udah, I think the earliest adoption of AI is through the ad platform. I think most of the ad platform that we use like Meta or TikTok, they already implement AI enablement so that you don't have to do lots of audience targeting or budget setting. They will automatically serve the right ads to the right audience in the right moment. So that is the first thing that I believe every marketers, especially in F&B, also have done that. The second one might be the drinks personalization. Some tools already enable that by finding the signals from socials, like what kind of drinks might be trending. So they have like the predictive or what's gonna be the trending flavor based on the signals that they like catch, and then they can like personalize that based on the user's previous behavior, for example. So those kind of capabilities that we already use for the pushing the product preference. Also in Kopi Kenangan, we try to do the churn prediction. And I think latest is trying to push the timely messages through AI. Well, actually not so much, but I believe because the industry is evolving and AI also evolving along with the industry, there will be like some enablement that we would like to try in the future. But for now, those are the things that we did previously. I was challenged by my boss, lo bisa nggak bikin collab sama IP? So we know that IP doesn't cost cheap, right? It comes with quite a high price, and then the process might be quite long and painful for sure gitu. Jadi milihnya itu pertama kita harus align dulu, because kita selalu membawa kopi kenangan as Indonesian brand yang mau go global. So we still cling to that Indonesian pride so much. So we wanna see like IP atau kreator mana sih yang juga Indonesia banget dan mewakili Indonesia. Makanya waktu itu kita pilih Thai Lalats. Dan saat itu kebetulan Thai Lalats juga lagi collab sama One Piece. Dan One Piece Anniversary ya. Jadi di One Piece Anniversary ini memang cuma Thai Lalats yang jadi partner local creator. So we see this as an opportunity untuk tap in ke both market. Jadi market yang suka anime juga, market di Jepangan lah ya pastinya. Dan market local creators juga, which market Thai Lalats kan udah sangat besar nih di Indo. And that of course our kopi kenangan users. Jadi ini udah kayak three powerful market yang kalau udah gabung jadi satu, will become like have a big impact lah. So we choose Thai Lalats One Piece our first IP collaboration. We launch in PRJ tahun lalu. We also have the drinks and then merchandises. I kind of say that we are the first who did that dari F&B retail, new F&B retail plus kopi kenangan. Hopefully in the future we can also do more. But not gonna be that much. Jadi kita juga tidak mau yang selalu ada IP terus tapi nggak ada mission atau apa di balik itu gitu. Jadi I think if you have money you can do IP every quarter for example, but in kopi kenangan we believe and also give value and profitability. Jadi sekarang kita malah lagi move-nya lebih ke kopi kenangan yang jadi IP. I think it's kind of new juga. So not only we are working with the existing IP, tapi kita ingin kopi kenangan as a brand. Kita juga sekarang udah di tahun ke-8. We have the presence, we have the drinks yang sekarang I can say kopi kenangan Mantan is the most consumed drinks di F&B retail local gitu kan, di kelasan kita. Jadi kita mau kopi kenangan Mantan as in the flavor, the brand, the logo, the scent itu jadi IP juga. Makanya kita sekarang udah ada collab sama brand-brand. Misalnya pernah sama brand skincare kita bikin lip balm and then body scrub dengan rasa kopi kenangan atau ada dengan kopi. Terus kita juga in the near future kita juga akan ada collab sama package goods. Jadi kayak cookies rasa kopi kenangan. Terus ada juga kayak sheet mask kopi kenangan. Jadi ada some of the consumer goods yang ada di modern trade atau di channel sales lain yang memang di luar store kita. Jadi kita juga ingin menjangkau customer yang mungkin nggak pernah tahu kopi kenangan in general di store-nya gitu. Tapi mereka bisa lihat kita ada di toko-toko, ada di supermarket, oh ini ya kopi kenangan gitu. And then they try. Jadi ada efek yang kebalik nih dari orang ke kopi kenangan ke MT, ini malah kebalik dari MT ke kopi kenangan. Jadi we want to create that effect. We also want to become an IP. Staying relevant to your target audience is the key. So I believe every customer touch point is an opportunity for the brand to talk about themselves. Makanya di kopi kenangan kita coba relevan sama target audience kita. Previously our target audience was millennials, late millennials, and now I think it's getting to Gen Z and way younger than Gen Z perhaps. So how do we cater those market, right? We want to be relevant, we want to be where they at. Jadi semua touch points yang disentuh customer kita ensure the brand is there. Misalnya dari sisi konten. So if you go to our socials, kontennya akan relevan sama target audience-nya. Kemudian dari sisi ads, balik lagi tadi ada pertanyaan soal AI, we ensure that the ads is relevant to you. And then dari sisi toko, kita juga lihat kalau social is now becoming currency. People are like to go back to the store and then hang out in the store. So we want to create in-store experience dan juga store design yang good enough buat audience kita untuk actually take pictures and then put it in the social media and becoming our ambassador organically. And then packaging juga penting. So we also now have like the premium packaging untuk premium beans kita, and we're planning to also continuously changing our packaging again to stay relevant to the market, because social people also like to snap the drinks and then put it online. So why not making it more beautiful so people feel that this is worth enough for my Instagram, for example. So yeah, those are the touch points. Also the barista, we train our barista to also serve with heart. Jadi semua experience customer kita dari konten, dari offline experience, dari store, dari barista, packaging, and then the drinks also have to be relevant. Memang kita udah punya hero SKU atau minuman-minuman yang udah pasti jadi all time best seller untuk customer kita, but we stay innovating. If you go to Kopi Kenangan, kita selama, I think every quarter we have new drinks that we want to offer to our customer. For sure we have to innovate, jadi innovation is also still the key. And then whatever the trend, kita akan coba as much as possible untuk tap in, if it's worth enough to tap in, dan juga staying relevant juga ke core value kita. So I think the balance of all those will keep us staying ahead for the next like 3 or 5 years time. I think the first advice will be very cliche, which is marketing is never right or wrong. It's about trial and error. Jadi, if you feel the gut feeling to do something, if you have the time and resource to do it, just do it. Karena walaupun mungkin gak works, at least bisa dapat hikmahnya kan, gitu. Jadi, trial and error is number one. The second one adalah it's not about who does it first or who does it faster, but it's about who does it better. Jadi di era sekarang, I believe everything has been invented. Ya semuanya juga udah ditemuin, and then originality dan authenticity is debatable. Jadi sekarang bukan permasalahan siapa yang nemuin duluan, but if you can do it better, then you do it.